All right. Well, welcome to Live Courageously podcast show number 11 of 2023. Starting just a slight bit late. We had a little technical problems. It's the first time I'm doing it with two people at the same time. So we had a little bit of sound issues, but we got it right and we're ready to go. And this is the 27th podcast show since I started a year ago. Live Courageously has been the conscious theme of my life for the last 3 years, since the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, and it's been an unconscious theme for most of my life. If you haven't seen the previous 26 podcasts with some of my amazing, courageous friends sharing their powerful stories of overcoming all odds and going on to live powerful lives and making a difference in the world, you can watch them on my John Duffy Live Courageously YouTube channel. And I have another 50 plus friends planned to be guests on my future shows. So keep coming back every week, Sunday at 2 p.m. And you can always go to the channel to watch the shows that I previously recorded. So why live courageously? I mean, that's a question, because fear is a reaction, but courage is a choice. And I suggest that you consciously always choose courage and faith over fear every time you experience fear, to get you through life and to deal with whatever life may throw at you in the future. And it will throw stuff at us that we don't like or want. So that's why courage is the way to respond. So today I have two twin brothers, Todd and Nathan Tetreault. And I wanted to make sure I got that right. So Todd is an actor, a producer, a stuntman, and a veteran who lives in the Los Angeles, California area. He broke out as a stuntman and stunt double for SEAL Team. And if you haven't watched the show, you need to check it out. It's an excellent show. He also served active duty in the United States Navy for 4 years. Todd then went on to join the Air Force Reserves after his Navy enlistment was completed, where he served in logistics and air transportation. While a reservist, even if he wasn't busy enough, Todd completed his BA in drama, graduating cum laude, and after receiving his BA, he had a strong desire to continue his military service as a commissioned officer. So he joined the ROTC program at Cal State Fullerton while pursuing his MFA at Chapman University. I'm getting tired just reading some of this stuff. He graduated magna cum laude from the Dodge College of Film and Television with an MA.FA in producing in film and television. And Todd is currently serving with the U.S. Army National Guard as a military intelligence officer. And he also works with Cal Fire as a wildland firefighter. And Nathan, his brother, is also got an incredible a resume as an actor, a writer, producer, and a veteran in Los Angeles, California. Nathan explored the world of stunts and worked on non-union productions, both acting and stunts, before he joined SAG-AFTRA after booking a SAG national commercial. He was accepted into the Geffen Veterans Writing and Performance Project in 2018, Everyday Heroes, where he further sharpened his storytelling skills by writing and performing his own personal one-act play about his military service on the Gil Cates Theater stage. Nathan is a global war on terrorism and Iraqi war campaign Air Force veteran who served 2 deployments in the Middle East. He was enlisted from 2009 to 2015, and he achieved the rank of Staff Sergeant. While serving, Nathan completed his BA in theater at the University of Massachusetts, also cum laude. And Todd and his brother Nathan has teamed up to produce a feature film about the real Forrest Gump, based on the true story of a Vietnam War Medal of Honor recipient, Sammy Lee Davis. Wow. I want to greet and welcome both Todd and Nathan to Live Courageously. And is it Todd and Nathan, or is it Nathan and Todd? I know you guys were born minutes before, so I have to start with that funny moment.
All right. So first of all, we're 4 years apart.
Oh, okay. So I was wrong about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I don't want to. Not trying to correct you. I just want to, say that we're born 4 years apart. And Todd is the older one.
I thought it was twins, but all right, 4 years. Well, yes, he is the older one. So I guess I'll go with Todd then, man. My apologies.
It's all good, John. It's all good.
So where did you, well, 2 questions before I want to get into your lives in all the facets. And like I said, I mean, just listening to, and just sharing both of your resumes. I mean, I'm totally impressed by what you've both done to serve and what you've accomplished both in the military and in your civilian life. So, I mean, I think it's an impressive resume that you've created, and even more importantly than the resume is the amount of service that you guys have done as two brothers. So, just want to say that. But, two of the questions I always start out my show with is one is, how did we first meet? How did we meet personally? Because except for one person, all the people on my show so far have been people I've met in the real world, not on social media. So, start there if you remember where we met. I think I do, but I'm not sure.
Todd, why don't you take it first?
All right, I'll take it then. So back when VME was VFT, I bumped into you a couple of times. We had small times, conversation, and then just last year, I reached out to get to know you more, and then so Nathan and I hooked up and went and met you for the first time. Had a long conversation at Starbucks.
Yeah, for those in the audience who may or may not know, VFT was Veterans in Film and Television. It was a group formed years ago to support military veterans in the entertainment industry. And then from that point, I got involved in supporting that as a civilian, just sharing some of my film experience and trying to mentor veterans in the film and entertainment industry. So that's how I got involved with VFT, and that's how we met. And then, of course, it transitioned and changed their name to Veterans in Media and Entertainment, VME, which is what it's today. That's the what the organization is. And correct, so we met at that. We also met at the Army and Navy game that they put on, VME put on, which I think there was a little bit of drinking there. I can't remember.
Maybe that's why I don't remember.
But we had a great time. And so that's how we met. And then when we sat down in Starbucks, like you said, I got a chance, and I kind of messed up one detail of it, but I got a chance to get to know you guys a little bit better, know about what you're about, what you've accomplished, what you're trying to do. And I was just kind of impressed by it. And I said, well, what can I do to support? And I'd love to share your story and your stories as to what you're trying to do. So that's kind of what brings you to the show today. And my second question that I always ask, that both of you can answer in whichever order you like, is, what does live courageously mean to you in your life? What does that mean?
Go ahead, Nathan.
So the way I would answer that is to live my life based on truth and conviction, and to be comfortable in my own skin, not having to worry about impressing people, but also not shying away when you hear the word no, especially when it comes to things that you believe you're being called to do. So I think it's really answering a call. I believe it's a higher call, and to just to not quit. I mean, I think there's times when you might try something and it doesn't work out, and I don't think we're meant to do everything and everywhere all at once. I know there was a movie about that I didn't see, but what I mean is, like, to truly know what you've been put on this earth to do by your Creator, and to do that with passion, with sincerity of heart, and to just do it,
I hear you. And Todd, how about you? What does it mean to you?
Well, I think living courageously is based more on a conscious choice of like a steadfast faith, like Nathan was talking about, and then being in that faith daily. And then, I mean, for an example, is something is righteous, and you're getting no on constantly, and you realize that it's basically oppression or friction or something you can't really control, that you're not going to take no for an answer. You're going to be respectful and loving, but you're going to drive forward no matter what. And I think that's living courageously. It's a choice. It's more deliberate rather than bravery is hasty, right? It's like reactive versus proactive. So I think that's what living courageously is more of a proactive choice of to go forward no matter what obstacles you get.
Well, thanks for both of you for giving that, sharing those opinions on that. And, you know, for both of you, and we'll start with you, Todd, is, you know, tell us a little bit your personal story. Where did you grow up? And talking about making a positive choice, you know, or making a choice, you know, at what point did you make the decision to join the military and why? And then I'm going to throw that same question to Nathan after that. But why don't you start with your background and tell us how that led to there?
All right. Well, I grew up in Massachusetts in the East Coast. Well, where do I start? So I had a great mom and dad, but for some reason I wanted more in life, and I felt like being more of the rebel was a life I wanted. So no fault of my own, I went into foster homes, and then in foster homes, I fell into more trouble, and I went into lockup, and I was a DYS child or kid at that point. And then
Which is Department of Youth Services, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. A lot of people don't know what that is out here, but you do, you know, because the whole East Coast.
Well, I grew up in neighborhoods where there was a lot of
exactly. That. Yeah. So I was that person at that time, and then you know, to this day, I still don't know why I joined the military, but I know it was at a time where what stuff wasn't working out in my own life. I believe at that time I was staying around to paint for my grandfather, my father's business, at a roofing, painting, carpentry type business, drywall at times. And Nathan and I both grew up doing that. So we grew up working with our hands, blue collar, knowing what like work ethic was, you know, showing up all the time. And my grandfather had colon cancer at the time. Things weren't working out for me in my life, what I was trying to do, what I was really motivated by. And but it's just so funny. But when I was a kid, I played war constantly. I was fascinated by World War II and Vietnam. I have no clue why, but as a kid, I was fascinated by that time. And I went in the Navy, and I think at this point in my life, I went in the Navy because I was answering a higher calling, although I didn't know at that point. Now I know it was a higher calling telling me to go somewhere. So I stepped out in faith, even though I didn't really look at it that way at that point in my life. And while I was in the Navy, you know, I went in for one reason. Nathan was with me too. I would train with him, keep him on track, and I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. And then when that didn't work out, you know, everything fit wise. Physical wise, I got through it, and then I got to a medical evaluation, and they found something on me which doesn't even exist today, so it's kind of weird, and that kept me from going. At that point, I guess I didn't believe in myself 100%, so I didn't fight it. Like today, I would have fought it, you know, and that led me into the Navy. I went into the fleet, and then I volunteered for everything I could because I just wasn't happy with just being a regular fleet. I felt something more in my heart was calling me to do something more. And so I volunteered for all kinds of jobs in the Navy. As a firefighter, I did search and rescue. I did electronic warfare technician. I actually didn't even study. I tested into the intelligence side and scored a 90. I don't know how, but wow. I did it. Went into the intelligence side. Was incredibly boring at that time because I wanted more action. While I was in the Navy, I was scouted on the beach for some modeling, some fitness stuff, Abercrombie Fitch, a lot of stuff in the Virginia. And then I went and I did a local show there at a dollar theater. I started doing theater there. And then it came to my captain of the ship said, hey, you know, we'd love to take you to the Middle East with us, but, you know, you have a chance at the silver screen. He's like, if I were you, I'd just get out and do that. And wow. He goes, plus the chief that has been hazing you for the last 3-4 years, he's not going to stop. So I realized where I stood on that, you know, that totem pole. Huh. So I got out and then went back home, worked with my grandpa and dad for a while. And then finally, when I realized I was ready to come out to California, I came out to California, did my thing in the industry. My brother went into the service after talking to him about it. My best friend got killed in Afghanistan. I felt like I had to go back in and serve. And so that's why I went into reserves. why I went to get my BA. And then basically, the rest is history. But I think growing up in foster homes, lockup, and kind of on the streets, I don't know, this did something for me to go into the military. I still don't know to this day. I really think it was just I was answering higher calling, but I didn't know at the time. I feel like God was just pushing me there, and now I know that. So
now, Nathan, what was your journey compared to your brother, and how did you go on your journey and get into the military, and then and you seem to both follow a similar path, obviously, into the military, into the entertainment industry, and then working together. But what was your personal journey with that? And I will just make one little aside. I saw you laughing when he was talking about his modeling and stuff on the beach. I know I have an older brother too, so we, we all gotta, kind of mess with each other on things. But I just saw that little moment. But anyway,
it's all in love, though. He knows that.
100%.
Yeah. So a little funny thing I will say. Am I shouting?
No, you're good, man.
Shouting? Oh, okay.
You're good.
So a funny thing I'll say before I go into the military thing was when we were kids, our mom had us walking the runway for Mary Kay fashion shows. So, and we grew up watching movies, and I know. And
let me just stop you for a second. So this admitting that is very courageous, man. I just want to say,
hey, man, you know what? It's all good, man.
It is. It is. So keep going, man. Keep going. That's cool. Cool
so
stuff.
We and then of course, just like any other kid, of course, Todd had to be Batman because he's the older brother. So I had to be Robin, and we would literally go around with a black trash bag and a yellow trash bag, and literally run through the woods in Massachusetts, and just I know. So I mean, this has been in us since we were kids. You know what I mean?
Well, I got to give a quick story with that. That is just so funny because he gets to be Batman, you get to be Robin, right?
Yeah.
I had an older brother. I grew up like 20 blocks from Yankee Stadium in New York in the Bronx, right? And so he was 4 years older than me, just like Todd. Very interesting. And so what he did was he chose all the winning teams in every sport, basketball, football, baseball, gave me all the losing teams to cheer for. So I don't watch sports anymore because of him. He basically ruined it for me because I was like, after a while, I was like, I keep cheering for the losers. I'm tired of this. It made no sense, man. But
hey, the underdog does win.
That's true. That's true. But sometimes it takes a little while. So I figured I'd beat him on the basketball court. Obviously, I couldn't get my teams to win, but I could beat him. So we did that kind of two brother game, man. But I get it. It.
That's awesome.
Keep going, man.
Well, I couldn't beat Todd at any sport either. I mean, I played basketball in high school. He still whoops me. Do jiu-jitsu. I'll try to get him, and then on like the 10th takedown, he'll flip me this like last minute, and it's like, nope, couldn't one time, not even on one time. And then when we tried out for the Air Force boxing team, the reason why, there's more reasons why we didn't make the team, but he goes ahead and hits me. He knocks me right in the face, and I see little birdies dancing. And so they're like, hey, man, you can come back next year if you want, if you get more fights under your belt. And, but then I realized I don't really want to get punched in the face for a living. So, yeah.
Probably a smart decision, man.
Yeah.
So you got into the military. You ended up in the same arena with him in the military for a short period of time. Is that what happened?
Yeah. Well, after boot camp and all that, there was an opportunity to do this thing in the Air Force. It's called the rodeo.
Okay.
And we were who's laughing? And it's basically, I shouldn't say this, but it's basically the Air Force's opportunity to throw their own rave.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really like that, but I'm just saying because like every country comes, and every country that's not a dry country, which those are many, non-dry countries out there. They bring their beverage of choice. So Spain will bring sangria, and Korea will bring soju, and so on and so forth. And so they party, but before they do the party, they do a competition. And
So
it's kind
true.
of like an obstacle course, but like you got to use your brains, you got to use your brawn, and you have to use teamwork, and it gets pretty intense and it's fun.
cool.
But Todd got to come and join me on one of the missions I was on there up at McCord. Was it McCord up in Washington? Is that McCord? It's been a while since I've.
Yeah.
Well, you see Mount Rainier in like the picturesque background.
That's McCord. Yeah.
Yep.
That's very cool, man. Well, you know, I'm gonna kind of stop pivoting you into like your boat move to the military, because having two guys at the same time speaking cuts into the time. You know that.
I understand. I'll just give you a quick thing.
Your story. I want you to finish yours, and then I want to hear your entertainment stuff, because I also want to make sure I get enough time to get on your new project, talk about that, and have you share a lot about that as well. So I just don't want to make sure I miss that.
Sure. So real quick, I grew up in Massachusetts, and it's very liberal there. I love all my people who are liberal. I'm just saying that very liberal there, and I didn't really. I never really thought I'd go in the military. It wasn't. I mean, I actually had longer hair than this, like 10 plus years ago, and I just didn't think about the military. And one day, I mean, Todd did tell me about it too. But our grandfather served World War II. Mm-hmm. Our dad was a conscious objector. He went to Parris Island, so I was like, all right, I guess I'll go. And we'll I need to be disciplined and have some kind of direction in my life. And so I went in. I'm very thankful that I did get to serve, and I served from 2009 to 2015 in the Air Force. I got to go on 2 deployments to the Middle East, and just enjoy my time as a logistics management air transportation specialist, and I got out as a staff sergeant.
Well, cool. Obviously, I think like anything else, that's kind of gave you at least, what Todd was saying too, but it kind of shaped you, gave you all kinds of skill sets, leadership, mindsets about how to work in the real world. And you come from both blue collar backgrounds as brothers. So you kind of had that work ethic already, which, when you make a decision to pivot into the entertainment industry, obviously after going to school, going to college, both being very successful in college, which, like I said, I dropped out of high school at 15. So I'm impressed by all this, man. I'm like, damn, these guys really did really well. And, but, you did that, moved into education, moved into entertainment industry, but it gave you certain things that you brought with you as to who you are and what you are in the entertainment industry. But why don't we shift now to that, and then we're going to eventually shift to your film that you're working on now. But Todd, tell me about that, your journey into the entertainment industry, and why you did it, what your goals were, and how they evolved over time. Obviously, you started out doing some modeling, you started out acting, and then you kind of moved on into other areas as well. So tell us a little bit about that and how and why.
All right, so as Nathan had said it, he let the cat out of the bag with the Batman story. So, and there's many more stories like that. So, so at that point, I always just loved storytelling. I loved making story, loved imagination. So, I just Nathan and I grew up with the video camera, making our own movies when we were younger. They were horrible, but you got to start somewhere. So we kept going. We'd go out to do karaoke, and we'd film that. I mean, anything we filmed, we did. I think we first did reality before reality came to actually TV. And I think we actually had the first vlog before vlog became, popular, because we would literally take the camera and go like this. It was, so we had that in us. So, cool. And we went cross country and filmed the whole thing. And we were just literally we were doing our own Jackass movie. That's what we were doing. And, and I mean, we're doing stupid stuff, but stuff people would love to see today on film, and, right. And we did it for fun, and we realized, and we would
save any of it by any chance?
What?
Did you save any of it?
Yeah, we did some of it.
Yeah, some guy took our stuff.
Yeah. Oh. Unfortunately, that's kind of how it is. You came out here supposed to edit it, and you just stole our stuff.
What a drag.
You're naive until you know, right?
That's true. But go ahead, keep going, man.
And so we came out. I mean, Nathan and I did some crazy stuff, a bunch of stuff. We were guys that would jump in head first. No, we were respectful and we loved people, and we try to do our best with that, but we jump in head first to get stuff done. And went to, I think it was just too much at once though. Once we got in, I got a manager, agent. I was at all these parties. I was partying with people that I dreamed of when I was a kid. You know, it was just like, it just got crazy. And then later on, you know, I was doing a lot of non-union stuff. I was going on my motorcycle 250 miles a day, back and forth from Orange County to LA for auditions, like daily or weekly, whatever it was. I mean, I put so many miles on my bike until I got hit, of course, twice. And then my bike went away for a while. Then we came into, then I had a chance to join SAG, but I had all these mentors telling me, hey, don't join now, join this, you know, coming in, trying to influence me. When I joined SAG, I started having a way better career and attempt at a better career. And then I just kind of did it. Like I just fell into it and I did it. Like everything I wanted to do and believe I could do, I finally started believing that. And that's what it came down to, is believing. Because let's fast forward to our dad having cancer several years back. When I was filming it, kind of like how Nathan and I did when we were little kids. And when I was filming his last days, I was just kind of filming to preserve him, right, in a way. At that point, I realized, talking to him and then through some serendipitous kind of blessing moments, miracle moments, that I realized I want to be a storyteller. And I believe acting and stunts got me into the realm of showing what I really want to do. And then that film on my dad, that documentary we made, Nathan and I, got me into film school for my master's. So now I'm in it to win it. Now I'm in it for life. Like I love storytelling and I want to bring great stories, just like your podcast, of courageous stories of hope, of love, and redemption.
Well, you know, I remember, Todd, when you told me that story at Starbucks that day about, you know, how that, and you just gave us obviously a very short version of the story, but you told me a little bit more about it, that conversation with your dad and how you finally got to the point where you were able to go forward doing what you did. And it was very emotionally powerful listening to you. And that it puts you on the path that you're on. And, you know, I think it's a story worth sharing in more detail, obviously, because, you know, I think we all can learn from it, because, you know, you took some chances. You had to push through a lot of, not going forward, and you didn't give up to get to that point, because you wanted to share that story and you wanted to connect with his life. So, you know, it was powerful to me listening to you tell it before.
Yeah. Thanks.
So I'm going to shift back to Nathan. So tell me your journey, Nathan, in the entertainment industry, and obviously a little bit different than your big brother, but you know, you chose to go into it too. And, you know, both, you know, I mean, once you got a career as Batman and Robin, there's no stopping you guys, right? That's it, man. Yeah.
I was just big dogging it from there. Big dog. Yeah,
well, hey, you know what? But this, you know why I couldn't do the Batman? Because this nose actually doesn't fit the Batman mask. Like it exceeds the Batman mask. And I was actually told that when I auditioned for this thing, and they try to put the mask on, and they're like, no, man, your nose is sticking out of the, I forgot what the thing is called on the Batman's mask. Anyways, it's all right. So
that was a fun day. I was there with him.
To answer your question here, yeah, just growing up as kids, but there's some key moments. When we moved to California, our parents divorced when we were younger, and we moved to California with our mom, and we lived with our grandparents and my mom, on her side, and our grandfather took us to Universal Studios Hollywood. And I remember just going through that as a kid and seeing, you know, the backdraft, and seeing, you know, the Jaws and just all those sets that they have there. You've been to Universal Studios, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So and just thinking about being an artist is living courageously, by the way. If you're an artist and being who you're called to be as an artist, that's living courageously. And just seeing how these stories were created, and like I just found this out. Quick story about E.T., right? Steven Spielberg. It's like there is apparently he made that film to to understand what he was going through as a kid through the divorce. And once that clicked, I was like, dude, we absolutely have to just make movies. That's it.
Come on.
And this happened by the way, this happened this year after losing 6 people, dear people in our life, family members, and having things not work out and pan out. But I'm just saying, like, so to go back to how I got in, I went my senior year in high school. It was either do gym twice, PE, physical education, do it twice, or do the theater. And I was like, I'm not gonna do no theater. What is this? This is for dorks. and long and behold, I walked in the theater, I stepped foot on the stage, and something in me was like, I have to do this with my life. This is what I have to be doing. And so from there, we went to New York City. We went to Sundance Film Festival. We came to LA. I only stayed for just a short period of time in LA, maybe 3-4 months. And I went back home to Massachusetts, go back to school. And then from there, just continued the journey.
So, I mean, there's a lot more, obviously, with both of your stories and both your thing that I can cover going deeper with both of you, because there's a lot to talk about, and you both got fascinating stories. I mean, I did not expect some of this, especially the Batman and Robin piece. But and by the way,
I didn't either. It just came out.
Somebody said it's called a cow.
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Out here.
Yeah, so he just kind of educated me on that. But what I want to kind of just do, and then we can kind of, if we have a little time, we can pivot back again. But I want to make sure that I cover what you're doing now. And I know you got a project that you're both connected together to make happen. I'm gonna put up a little thing on the screen of the project's name. And what is that word, cudgel? What does it mean for people who don't know, like myself? And what does it mean, and why did you choose that as a title? But then tell us about the log line. So you're basically collaborating to tell this film about this gentleman right here, Vietnam veteran. And so the real Forrest Gump, as it's called in the poster, right? So you're working to try and create a feature film about him. And just want you, so the name, where does that come from? What is the story? What's the log line? And why are you both so passionate about making this into a feature film? So share that, whoever wants to go first.
All right. I'll go, Todd.
I'll go with the title, and then you can take it after the title if you want.
Roger that.
All right. All right. So the title cudgel. So it's fire support cudgel is where the incident happened at 0 to 200 hours. And then, so that's a part for the title, but then
say that one more time.
So, cudgel is the name of the fire support base where the incident happened at 0 to 200 hours.
And wait, a fire support base is tell them about what a fire support base is, Todd, in like 30 seconds.
All right, so it's basically, it was a Mekong Delta. It's where they go out and they put all the howitzers up on sandbags. They're in the rice paddies. It's not dry at all. And he's with the fourth battery with the 9th Division infantry. So it's a really small kind of operating base, you know. So it's like a big ORP, if anyone understands what that is, the objective rally point. So that is in itself the title, and then there's a couple other meanings. So, and then a cudgel is it's probably about 10 to 12 inch like baton, basically a club, right? And so in the film, Sammy, in order to save his brothers, his M16 does not work at the time, so he throws it in the mud and he ends up beating these Vietnamese soldiers to death with a stick to save his brothers. That's one. That's a cudgel, right? He was willing to go eye to eye and kill another man for his fellow man, right? Which he didn't even know. That love goes beyond, you know. And then also in the In another scene, without giving so much away, in another scene, the hippies rally at airport, and they say, you got to go through a gauntlet if you're going to make it home. And at that time, they beat them with a cudgel. So basically, it happens at cudgel, with the cudgel, and ends with the cudgel. So that's why we use cudgels to show the brutality of it. Doesn't have to be a club. The brutality can be, it's literally inhumanity in the heart. So it's at the base from a whole nother country, but it's within the man's heart. And then it's through Sammy at that point, and then at the end through hippies, which people thought they were loving, peaceful people, but here they are beaten people that went over and did what they thought was right for the country, humanity, and our liberties. So that's the title. If Nathan wanted to add anything, go ahead.
Right. So, John, what was the other thing you wanted to know? You want to know what the title was?
What the title was, what the story was, the log line. I mean, Todd just told us a little bit about it,
Right.
Where the name comes from, what it is, where it starts, where it ends. What attracted you to this particular person's story, and why do you want to tell this story? And what is the story, just from a log line standpoint, what is the story that you're trying to tell with this, and why is it important to both of you?
All right. So,
if that's not too much to ask at one time,
absolutely not. And we really appreciate you doing this, John. This is great. So the story is about love and friendship at war. And we both believe that in our current day today, we need to see true friendship and true love more. And it ties in together with your theme of this show, Live Courageously, because courage means from the heart, and the way we understand love as humans is that it's a heart, it's from the heart, but it's not like a sappy love song from the heart. It's I'm willing to lay my life down for you from the heart. And what attracts us to this story is several things. I mean, we went to Disney Studios as part of it was a veterans event that we got invited to for Veterans Day back in 2018. And Todd and I were sitting in the movie theater or at Disney Studios, and Sammy Lee Davis is up there sharing his story. And he's a Vietnam veteran, and he's full of love, joy, light. And we haven't really met too many veterans who portray those qualities at that time. At that time, it was like a lot of people are either disgruntled with what happened to them, or they just didn't have the same experience. At the same time, though, this man literally went through hell, in the sense, the hell on earth. Like, we can't even fathom what eternal punishment is, but hell on earth, like going through it, getting shot, getting blown up, being like Todd was saying, when he gets back and hit with war clubs and being called a baby killer and being spat on. We heard these stories from other people, other veterans we know. We know some Vietnam veterans. Our great uncle actually served twice, went to 2 tours to Vietnam. And we see a lot of movies that paint the Vietnam vet as a negative person. They're either doing drugs, they're either drunks, they're either homeless, they're beating their wives, they don't have a purpose, they're lost. And here we have a man who truly serves his country still today. Yes, he is a Medal of Honor from the Vietnam War, and so he has that to uphold. At the same time, it's who he is. It's who he is as a person. And so the reason why Todd and I decided, well, I don't even think we decided. It's more of a calling. We were sitting in the theater. We hear Sammy sharing a story and playing his harmonica to the tune of Shenandoah. And Todd and I both look at each other and we're like, dude, we have to make a movie about this. Wow. And from there, we met with Sammy at the end. Everyone meets with him and gets his, their book autographed. Well, he ran out of books when we jumped. There he is. We jumped in line to get his book and to meet him. And he ran out of books. So he tells us, hey, I ran out of books. If you give me your address, I'll send you one. And then before I thanked him, I welcomed him home, all that stuff. But then before we were about to say, hey, we want to make a movie about your life, he turns to me, he gives me his card. He goes, I want to make a movie. Huh. I'm like, wait, we were going to tell you this, and then we just, by God's grace and by Todd's tenacious, ongoing, keep pressing on attitude and mine as well, we were able to build a relationship with Sammy. And 4 years later now, he's, given us his life rights, and pretty much goes around telling people that he's adopted us. So and his wife, loves us, and they've invited us along their lives to experience some of the things they get to experience. And so it wasn't just we want to make a movie and because it's a war drama, and we don't want to glorify war. We want to show a lot of movies are anti-war. Okay. We're not anti-war. At the same time, we're grateful Americans like you and many other people, and we're thankful to have served the country, and we want to continue serving in this way to tell stories that bring light and hope to this fallen and dark world, and to tell those stories. And I don't know, does that answer?
All over the place it answers. I mean, and I think it's a great answer because, once again, you said it in the beginning and you're saying it again. It's the message that you're trying to share of bringing light and hope. And just like you said earlier, love, an attitude of love, but not sappy love. And, I had an experience about a month, I guess, ago. I got to go to a private air show with the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds down in wherever that was. I just blanked on where we went. But, I got a chance to be there, and I met a pilot, a Vietnam veteran pilot who was shot down over Vietnam during the Vietnam War. And he became a prisoner of war for, I can't remember, 6-7 years. And, it was brutal. And I spent a lot of time asking him questions. He was telling me how he was brutalized, and maybe with those, sticks or just with all kinds of things. The brutality of being a prisoner of war was horrible. And eventually he got released and came back to America. And he went back to Vietnam. He was asked to come back to Vietnam a couple of years ago. And, I said, how did you process all that? And he said, well, when you let go of anger and you let go of hate, he said, you heal yourself. He said, it ain't about them. It's not about that what they did was right. No, it was wrong. He said, but if I continue to hold hatred in me, it eats me, it destroys me. Instead, I chose to choose love. And so I was able to release that. And that to me was such a powerful statement, but it's what you're saying with your story here with Sammy, wanting to tell this story about somebody who is an example of somebody who, went through all that and is a role model for the positive, for the love, for the hope, for the, all those kind of things. And that's so it's a powerful story. So I commend you guys for choosing this. And he obviously picked 2 young sons, man. He picked the right 2 young sons to adopt. So, it's definitely a win-win in that area, man. So I'm glad you got this thing. So there's a couple of things I just, as we keep going, this is a quote, I think maybe from him, but I know it's on your website. You don't lose until you quit trying. And it's a quote that I think, really is so true. But, my next question is, you have a GoFundMe page. You're trying to move forward with this project. What can people do to connect with you, to support you? I'm going to put up, and you can tell me what the website is that they can go to be able to connect. And here's just a little bit of you guys, the 2 of you and your company, a picture, and then of course I think I have oh no, that's help our cause, and then basically if they go to your website, there's all the pages that they can go to connect. But share that, how people can support you, how they can go to your website, and what you're looking, what's the process forward for you on this movie.
And okay, and real quick, I want to interject on earlier on the story you just told us about the Vietnam pilot, and that's really what it's about. What you said, it's finding love in unexpected places, because it's everywhere. We just don't see it because we don't perceive it that way. And so we want to lift that negative veil, that curtain on this particular campaign, but show what you just said.
We love because he first loved us.
Exactly. Yes. And it goes so much deeper. So I'm glad you got to experience that, John. That's a blessing to meet someone like that, and then him tell 100%. You that and open up to you. I mean, that touched my heart just now. So
yeah, it is a blessing, because you know, you realize how divided people have gotten in this, especially in the last couple of years.
Yes.
How divided people get, and even where people can get divided from their own family, from people that they loved all their lives, and let, you know, anger and hatred and division get between them, and not understand the power of love and connection, and how easy people get manipulated into that. And then you meet someone like that who has a legitimate reason to stay with hatred if he wanted to,
exactly.
but is wise enough to realize that when you do that, you don't destroy the other person, you destroy yourself with it. And so, you know, and you meet somebody who's been put through hell and still has that love, man, that was an honor for me. Yes, 100%.
Yes, and like today, you ask someone, will you go across the street to help your brother or sister in need? Most people won't. They'll film it, which is a brutality in itself, right? So it's a thought as an intention just as well as an action, right? So
and to touch on that, this man, Sammy, after being shot, blown up, we can go into details later, but he hears a call from across the canal. 25. The only thing that's separating them from the enemy that's pushing on him. By the way, it's 1,500 Viet Cong and NVA soldiers raiding a base of 42 U.S. soldiers.
Yeah, usually that's,
if you can just picture that, 1,500 people, and only thing that's separating you from being completely destroyed and dying is a 25-meter canal in the dead of night, and you hear a whistle blow, go kill the GI, and a bugle horn. And after all this is, Sammy hears a call, a voice. I'm a GI, don't shoot. Turns out it's Gwendolyn Holloway. And he goes and he swims across the river, and he rescues him. But then Gwendolyn Holloway says, hey, there's two with me in the foxhole on enemy lines. And they go to the foxhole, and there's two other soldiers. One, Billy Ray Crawford, he has a femoral artery bleed out. So Sammy quickly tourniquets that with a makeshift tourniquet. And then Jim Deister, he's been shot in the face, and his brains are coming out of his skull. And Sammy, you know, he says that he actually called on the Lord to help him. Kind of like Desmond Doss's story in Hacksaw Ridge. He's like, God, you got to help me. Like, what do you want me to do here, right? And then he was able to put his brains back into his skull, carry him across the river, because the guys even said, hey, he's dead. He's like, dead or not, we got to bring him back. And it turns out that all those men survived that night.
Wow.
From that attack.
To the point to where he held Deister's grandchild later on. Sammy got to hold his grandchild. It you know, hits here. So
yeah,
it's so beyond, you know, it's movies that need to be made today. You know, and it's just, it needs, So, all
right, but go back to where they can find all the information.
Yeah, go ahead. You can go if you want.
So www.cudgelmovie.com. That's CUDGEL movie MOVIE.com. The link is there, right there. That's the main. That's the front of the page. And there's a place to donate, and we would very appreciate any kind of donation, any kind of support. We also have an Instagram page, Cudgel Movie, and follow that, like it, comment, share. but we all know that it takes. We actually heard Gary Sinise say this yesterday. We actually met him at Point Magoo, and he said,
wait, you were out. You were up in Point Magoo. I was over at our American Legion post. They did a 50th anniversary for Vietnam, and they read all these stories written by Vietnam veterans, which was freaking amazing. But I don't know.
Awesome.
I don't know which was the better place to be, over at Gary Sinise or there, but I think they were both pretty cool places to be yesterday.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just echoing what, I don't know if he didn't say this verbatim because I didn't write it down, but basically it's like we all need each other to help each other. We need to help each other. Right. And so obviously anybody who's in the film business knows that you need people and you need money. So obviously, yes, we're asking for donations, but we also, you could help if you're friends of us, you could help us by liking our page and by commenting, sharing it, letting people know that there's this really cool movie that's being, being in development, and other people in the industry we've shared it with, and they're interested. And we're trusting God that He's given this story to us to tell, and we're just gonna go out with that. So, Todd, anything you want to add though to where they can, what John was saying?
No, just like you said, cudgelmovie.com. Also, there's a Facebook page too, Cudgel Movie. And, just support the support, like Nathan said, just, make people aware of it. If you want to come and donate, that's fine. We're also looking for investors that want to come along and partner with us and be a business partner, not just donations, but if you want to come along and partner with us and be along for the ride, we're looking for that too. Yeah, it's a great story. It needs to be told. There's amazing gems with Sammy. Sammy knew Desmond Dawes personally, played the harmonica for him when he needed it. It just goes beyond. And like Nathan said, we've already shared it with industry people of notoriety, and they're interested. So yeah, we just appreciate the support and thank you ahead of time. Yeah, and God bless.
Once again, it's www.cudgelmovie.com is the website. Obviously, Cudgel Movie on Instagram, Cudgel Movie on Facebook, and anything you can do on any level, whether become an investor, donate, share this information, support them in whatever way, like it, just do all of the above. Hey, you got a friend there. You got a little support coming in. So, anything you can do to help them, and once again, hey, look at that beautiful dog. So anything, that the audience can do, feel free, please do it. I mean, these are two great brothers. And like I said, everything kind of happens, I believe, for a reason sometimes. And how we met and how we ended up staying connected and then reconnecting and getting a chance to hear your story and what you're trying to do just kind of touched me, because, we need more of that. I've been in the entertainment industry a long time, and I resonate with people who want to, bring out the stuff that you're talking about of bringing out love in the world, of, giving people hope, giving people, a positive as to what, we really can do, and inspire people with great stories. So as, filmmakers, as storytellers, you got your heart in the right place, and you got a great story that came to you, and you came to the story. So there was a reason why you were both, connected at that time. So anybody, feel free, please share this, and support these guys in whatever way you can. Anything else you would like to kind of, either one of you, both of you, I mean, not either one of you, but both of you want to sum up in closing out the show on any topic? I mean, once again, I think you guys are very active and doing a lot of stuff. And I'm just, glad we had a chance to connect like we did, so I could do something like this and support you guys, because I think you're trying to do some great work.
Yeah. So we definitely sincerely thank you, John, for even taking an interest and putting us on your show. I know Todd and I were talking about, we won't go into details, but we wanted to get a podcast going, and sharing stories. And so we're just thankful that that you opened the door here for us, and to just the fact that you believe in us as your friend, and hopefully we get together, more often and get some coffee, go play basketball, go to gym, whatever it is, right? we're just thankful that you are who you say you are, you know, and we really enjoyed our conversation over when we did meet at the Starbucks. And then of course, when we saw each other at that Army Navy game, man, it was just like, dude, you know, taking pictures and stuff. It was just like, it almost feels like we just been old buds from just a while, you know, like times ago. But so we're looking forward to building our friendship with you, and hopefully it'd be cool to even work together. You know, I mean, that would be really cool.
Hey, it would be fantastic. And just a funny story, because I have a good buddy who's a Vietnam veteran who's from Boston, Massachusetts, right?
Go Sox.
And we got this ongoing joke, because when everybody meets me, they ask me, where are you from? And I say, where do you think I'm from? And 90% of the time people say Boston. And when they say that around him, he gets mad. He's like, he's not from Boston. What do you mean? So, you know, the competition between New York and Boston it's just like two brothers, right? It's that kind of unique thing. And, but for us, you know, I think what it really is, it is, you know, I feel grateful and honored to have met you and connected with you, and obviously create this friendship and be able to support you. And hopefully we can find a way to work together. I would love that, man.
Awesome.
And I'm here. Anything I can do to support, you know, you can reach out to me. So, and then but basketball, we got to play basketball. That's for sure.
When it comes to Boston and New York, I always tell people, is it water or water? Of course.
You want a cup of coffee or a cup of coffee?
I don't understand why they hear Boston in my accent. I'm like, you know, but I guess it's there, man. Maybe it's my Irish parents or something that's giving me that little Boston accent. So, but I'm cool with it. I don't mind.
Hey, who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third. Come on.
That's right. Yeah.
Who's on first?
New York.
So you mentioned earlier, John, the story did come to us, though. I want to touch down on that. Is we went to Disney because you're very familiar with Operation Gratitude, and
yes.
Nathan and I were helping
with 20th anniversary the other day.
Yes.
Yeah, we actually we listened to your episode too with Major General Johnson. Was it?
Yes, James Johnson.
Yep. And so we were volunteering for Operation Gratitude, and those are that's the foundation that actually told us about the Disney Studios thing. So we went there, and then when we were there, that's when we actually heard Sammy, Nathan, and I turn and literally say, "Hey, we're gonna do this film," and then look where we're at. And another thing too, I'll share. Nathan and I come out of our rooms because where we lived, he was like down the hallway and I was on the hallway. We come out in the same garb. So same clothes, right? I don't know why I say garb, that's an old school word. Same clothes. And we literally come out, we're like, dude, we should have Mel Gibson direct it because we loved Hacksaw Ridge, right? And Mel has a lot of certain similarities to our dad, right? So we thought about other things with that. And so lo and behold, January 6th, just this year, we bump into Mel Gibson at Starbucks and pitch him the story.
Get out of here.
No. And he loved it. And he gave me the email and, he said, follow up with me. And that's what I've been doing. So.
Right on. Well, see, that's the thing, those are those moments, I never heard this word before, but I was in DC at the GI Film Festival, and there was this experience that happened that was kind of like, how did these people all show up here? It was like, one of those kind of like, this is impossible. And the person said, well, it's a God's wink. And I said, what's that? And he said, well, God just put it together for us. I was like, I like that saying, God's wink. So
I like that. Yeah.
I never heard that saying before. And, now I use it all the time. And I realize there are so many God winks in my life that I'm kind of blown away by. And I think what you just had is just an example, both of those, meeting Sammy and also Mel. Those moments that you didn't create necessarily. You didn't go out there and try and find it. Happened. It just kind of put you in the right place at the right time where your purpose and mission is. And it's pretty amazing when that happens, man. It's great.
Doing the work, trusting that, hey, if you even have an audience, going at life as I have an audience of one. It's me and God. And yes, there's other people in my life. I'm not saying that I have loved ones. I'm just saying that if there's only 1 or 2 people watching, you still do the work because this is what you're called to do. And then if the Lord wants to bless you through that, then that will happen. And we're starting to see, like, I sat down, wrote the script. Todd and I did, he helped me with the story, and we hammered out the script, and just one foot in front of the other, and trusting that this is what we're called to do. And the story is gonna, we have an opportunity, and this as a line producer and working on films. Todd and I have an opportunity to give 300 people a job,
or
right?
more. Yeah. 300
creatives a job, and to tell an amazing story that would stand the test of time, because these stories, I mean, whatever your favorite movie is, you can go and watch it, right? And you can continue to glean from whatever it is that inspired you, right? I will touch on something. We are thankful that you gave us this this copy. You're
very welcome.
We love you, John, because we thank you that you stand for truth, and also for our flag, which I think is 100% important, and the value of that is beyond. And also just your the example you have, the stories you shared with us about how, hey, we're gonna get that lot. Well, what do you mean? You shared with us, and got it for the weekend. And we're just thankful that there are people like you that, like, hey, look, I'm gonna do this, and you're either coming with me or not, and I'm gonna find the right people that are gonna come around, and we're gonna uplift each other. And so we're thankful for giving this to us, because this filmmakers that have something from another filmmaker that's tangible that you can watch is a blessing. So thank you for continuing to create and tell stories.
Hey, well, thank you for those kind words. I really appreciate it. And, once again, when you do something, like if you touch one person, it's well worth it. You don't know who you're going to touch or how many people, but if you can touch one person and help them and inspire them, make a better life, then you succeeded in life, and you don't know how that's going to work. So thank you so much for those kind words. I when I did the project, I did it, as the flag, as a favor. And I ended up, I had never directed before, but there was no director. So he said, what do you do? I said, well, I guess I'm directing it too. And, you just go, and, it was my veteran buddy. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do it. How much you going to get paid? Nothing. It's for free. I don't care. You just do stuff that try and make a change and make a difference. And you come from there, and life is good. Life is good.
Absolutely.
And when you're not thinking about yourself, but you're thinking about others, life gets better. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
So
when a whole lot of people come together, you can get stuff done.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
And the thing, John, is I'll piggyback off what Nathan said. The 3 things I think you have, and I think is very rare today. My dad showed me this in my life: is integrity, resilience, and love for another. And when you love another, it means if they hate you, you still love them, and you have that in your heart. And that's what I saw right away. And that's obviously why I want to get to know you more.
Wow. Thank you. I mean, thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
So anything else? Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up. And, it's been a pleasure hanging with you guys. It's been fun. This has been a really cool conversation. I really enjoyed it, man.
Excellent. We did too.
Any other words? Otherwise, I'll wrap up the show.
Got anything, Todd?
I don't got anything.
All right. Thank you, John. God bless you. And we'll see you hopefully soon.
Sounds good. God bless you both. And remember, www.cudgelmovie.com. Go there and support it.
Yes, please.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless. All right. So I hope everybody enjoyed the show and their message today. These 2 brothers, Todd and Nathaniel, and what they're trying to do with Cudgel the movie, and their life of service in the military and in civilian life, and what they're bringing out in the world of love and basically positivity. And that's something I hope we all can take away from this. 2 amazing young men who've done so much and are going to do so much more. So support them in any way you can. And until next Sunday, join me next Sunday at 2 p.m. and meet some other great friends that I've been blessed with in life. And I encourage you to live courageously and make your life a masterpiece. And God bless you until next Sunday at 2 p.m.